Hello and welcome back to Introduction to Computer Science at SSFS. Today we're going to talk a little bit about strings, and you'll notice that a lot of things that we were able to do with lists, you can do with strings. And I'll be able to demonstrate most of this in the Python console. So let me go ahead and make a string. So I have the variable word equals shrubbery. And again, it has quotes around it, so we know it's a string. Remember, in lists, you could access different parts of the list by index. Well, you can do the same thing with strings. So I can say, what is the character at position 3? Remember, you start with 0, so it's 0, 1, 2, 3. This should return U. And it does. Again, like lists, we can actually produce slices. So you can say, well, what are the characters from position 2 to position 5? And I get rub because it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, it doesn't include the last piece. That's going to give me the 3 characters rub. I can also find the length of a string by using the function length, or len. So if I put in len of word, it gives me 9. And finally, another way that strings are like lists is I can loop or iterate over them. So I can say for character in word, print character. And this should individually print out each character in word. So when I do that, it prints out shrubbery. There are ways, however, that strings are not like lists. We were able to change items in a list by changing the index. So for example, if I said items equals knife, fork, and spoon, I can say items 0 equals spork. And now if I show items, I can see that I've replaced knife with spork. So we can say that lists are what are called mutable. You can change them. Strings are immutable. Let's just make sure that our word is still shrubbery. Well, let's say I wanted to change the S to a T for thrubbery. That's not even a word, but it sounds good. If I go word 0 equals T, it gives me an error saying the string object does not support item assignment, which means I cannot change the string in place. If I wanted to change it, I would have to actually make a completely new string. It is possible, however, to join two strings together. So, for example, if I have string 1 equals knights and string 2 equals Husseini, I can say string 3 equals string 1 plus string 2. And what the plus sign there means when it's used with strings, it means concatenate. And concatenate means join together. And you may have seen this in print statements we've used throughout the year. So now if I print string 3, I get knights who say ni. And if I was doing this a little bit neater, I would have put a space after the S in knights or the space before the who, or I could have concatenated a space in between that. So I could have done string 4 equals string 1 plus a space plus string 2. And that looks a little bit neater. So again, I'm concatenating different strings together, and what that does is it makes one final string. And you might find this useful in different programs. Another mathematical operation that you probably don't use all that much, but is sometimes helpful, is you can actually use the multiplication operator on a string. So for example, if I have new word equals spam, and I do new word times 5, you would think that a string times an integer would give an error, but it actually prints out the string the number of times. So it says spam, 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 spam. Okay? So you can use the multiplication operator on the string. And again, you don't see that too often, but it's good to know that you can do it.